How's it going, guys? This video is going to be about S.W.O.R.D Satellite. In this video, I will show you my save teams that I'm going to be using to tackle S.W.O.R D, hopefully climb all the way up to floor 30. It's going to be a lot of fun. What I will say is that obviously my roster is not the same as everybody else's. You may not be able to do this, but this is like a veteran centric squad that you should be, as a mid-game player, able to kind of pick it apart, switch some things around, and climb a decent amount of floors. And obviously we're going to talk about the strategies in the fights as we go through them. What I would say is there's no race to get through S.W.O.R D. I will be racing to get through S.W.O.R D so I can get a video out for you guys, hopefully detailing my climb all the way up to the 30th floor, and I will have that out for you by tonight. So if you want to save your attacks for tomorrow, you can see where I screw up, where I succeed, and you can try and emulate some of that, move some things around so you can maybe do an even better job and go from there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super pumped for S.W.O.R D. Let me know what you guys are thinking about S.W.O.R D in the comment sections below, and we'll talk soon. Oh, also, just know, I'm looking at these team powers at face value. In the past, tower teams as displayed were not how they felt. It didn't indicate the proper stat level that the characters in gameplay should have been. So maybe we're going to have a repeat of that, where a 2 million team feels more like fighting a 3 million team, and we'll readjust from there. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Alright guys, so first thing I want to do when we're talking about these matchups that I'm getting ready for the satellite that starts tonight, probably like minutes after you see this video because you just got home. I'm going to be making matchups to climb as far as possible, but I want to be very clear that my roster is giant compared to a lot of other people, right? So when we're going floor by floor, if you don't have the same team built out of power that can take it out, I'll give some general guidelines on things to look out for in the team, and you can build around that. There's also some teams you're going to see that I slam together near the end so I can push further. Well, those are teams that you might have built that you don't want to break those teams up. You want to bring them together and maybe use them on these earlier floors where they're just, it's safer because you have them built up big. And we can talk a little bit about that as we go. So the first floor is just a defender floor coming in at 400 power with 7 members. It's very weak. I'm going to hit it with my Inhuman team. Really, the only thing you need to look out for here is that there is a Squirrel Girl, and if you get into that infinite cycle with just Squirrel Girl healing instead of actually killing people, that could be bad. So make sure that whatever team you bring in, you're going to be able to one-shot a character as opposed to getting stuck behind this Miss Marvel. For me, that's going to be my Black Bolt. My Black Bolt is going to be one-shotting people, and I'm just going to slowly get through that node, but I will get through it. My Black Bolt is the same power as half the node. All right, for node number 2, I'm going to be hitting it with Astonishing X-Men. We do have the Ravagers here, along with Star-Lord OG. This is actually a decent counter to the Astonishing X-Men in War. Not in War, I'm pretty confident that here, my Bishop will take a hit. He's going to shrug it off because it's not a very big T'Challa. Again, 500k power divided over 8 characters. I'm then going to get to retaliate. I'll take out some weak members. We'll get that train rolling, and we'll get some value out of our old raid team, the Astonishing X-Men. Then we have a Wave 1 team. Now, this one actually might be a little hairy. I could lose this one. There's definitely matches I could lose. But again, I'm trying to stretch my roster all the way to beat level 30 in the first day. I have a strategy of what I want to do to be competitive in the leaderboards. And we'll talk about that at the end, too. All right, so if we go and we look at Uncanny now against the Wave 1 team, the big threat here is that Thor is going to stun us. So we want to get to him as fast as possible. But in the meantime, Black Widow is going to be giving speed up. Double Hawkeyes means 2 rewinds. We have the slow coming in from the Hulkbuster Ultimate and then the taunt from the Hulk. So we will be kind of fighting through all that. It is a 700k team, 100k units. So we do have double the power on our units. I'm confident that I'll be able to survive to the point where Phoenix is going to go dark, give people defense down, and either Cyclops or Storm are then going to erase the board. That's the hope here, and I do have a big Colossus from this season of CC to help make that happen. Yeah, so one thing you need to look out for there, again, is the speed up coming from Widow, speeding up those Wave 1 members to a speed you may not be comfortable with. All right, then for the next stage, we're going to be using Sinister Six. That's right, I built up some Sinister Six units because of the reworks. I haven't touched Electro yet. I haven't touched Rhino. But the enemy Magneto is not so big. He's going to give blind to the Rhino, who's then going to clear it. Who's then going to clear it from all his friends. And then I'm relying on Vulture and Mysterio and Doc Ock to just kind of get in there and destroy the enemy. And I do think that is probably going to be a very easy matchup. After that, we got Kree. Now, this one is going to be super dangerous and definitely not something everyone's going to have the team built for. I'm going to be using a 1 million powered Shadowlands against a 900 powered Kree team. But the Kree team does have Nebula and Gamora on it, and Moondragon, and Phyla-Vell. So there's Infinity Watch members here too. The idea here is that because it is weaker members, I should be able to one-shot everybody, be able to control the enemy team with our Moon Knight, all of his nasty debuffs that are going to go on there. And without Adam Warlock, the team does not get Safeguard. It does get defense up. I believe it doesn't get Safeguard or immunity. So that's going to be kind of the sticking point. We'll see how that one goes. I'm open to losing that one, and if I do, I'm going to be hitting it with my Young Avengers, who I'm hopefully using on the next team, and then I'll have to reshuffle some things. But the Shadowlands, that's one of my Hail Mary teams. I'm going to be then using my Young Avengers against this, oddly enough, A-Force, which is a counter, mostly in war though, against the A-Force / Wave 1 or Skilletary and a little bit of Gwenpool in there. So Gwenpool, unfortunately, is going to go... So it goes Nico, who's going to flip on my defense ups. Then it goes Spider-Woman, who's going to give me a bunch of offense downs and ability block. If that ability block doesn't hit Squirrel Girl, I'm going to win, because I'm going to cleanse everything. We're going to go from there. After that, Captain Marvel goes, and I think Gwenpool, Captain Marvel can go at the same time. Gwenpool will then flip everything else. I think it's in a chain when not in Crucible. So the main thing you need to be worried about is just weird flips and then possibly getting ability blocked. If I wanted to shore this victory up, I could throw in a pre-taunt, but all my pre-taunts are kind of locked up right now because I'm pushing super hard in the tower. After that, we're going to be using our Nick Fury with our new Warriors. That's right, we're taking Deathpool out, and we're going to be tackling this Inhuman team. Not too worried about this. It's going to be like sheer power versus sheer power kind of thing. And I think the new Warriors I have built so high, they're just going to own this team. All right, then for the next team, and this is where we got talking about kind of the downside of this satellite. We are facing a Dark Hunters with Nico, so that we're getting some early debuffs out there for Ghost Rider passive. And there's a Quicksilver here. Now, I want to use my new Avengers, but unfortunately, my Tigra is only 4 stars, so I cannot use my Tiger here. I already opened up my Mega Orbs. I didn't get lucky, so we got to replace her. And to replace her, I'm going to make sure I bring in a character that can probably tank a couple hits. We're worried about that Quicksilver killing people, right? So I'm probably going to be throwing in my Gear Tier 18 Invisible Woman. She's going to give a little bit of tankiness to my other characters, and we're going to let Ronan and Thing do their thing. And we're going to be focusing out the members as quickly as possible. So that's one of the things you do got to look out for in this tower, guys. Moving on, I have Heroes for Hire. I'm simply going to hit that with a straight Dark Hunters. The same reason that the matchup previous to this one is difficult, this should be okay. We're going to have the speed advantage here. We're going to get a bunch of bleeds out. This is going to fuel the Ghost Rider passive, who fuels everybody else's speed bar. We should get a bunch of them dead before they get a turn. Then we got a 1 million powered Infestation / Masters of Evil spread across 7 people. I'm going to hit it with my Rebirth. I have a very big Rebirth. The idea here is I'm just going to straight out tank the initial onslaught. Peggy is going to bring us all back to the Promised Land, and we're going to go from there. Now, there is a Black Widow. Black Widow could give speed up to Ultron, could give speed up to Titania, and make this really messy. But again, this is a 700k punch down, but 5 members. So my characters should be able to take a couple hits here. Then we got the Bionic Avengers. I'm stretching here again, so I'm going to be using my X Factor with Zemo and Hawkeye, because you know I got to get in all the crowd favorites. The idea here is we're going to strip off the defense ups. We're going to try and kill that Viv Vision as quickly as possible, and we're hoping that with Turn Meter Rewind and Speed Gain, we're going to be able to get the advantage and hold on to that advantage. My Hawkeye is a Raider, by the way, so that's going to help out with keeping those dad bros, keep them on trucking. We're going to try and Underworld the enemy Underworld and just outpower it pretty much. There is a Zemo and Hydra team members in there as well, giving them speed bar. We saw this in Crucible. I think they just watch our Crucible videos and they lift those teams to throw them in towers, add a couple things on. But that's fine. It's fun. I should be able to get the go-ahead here with my Kingpin and then further protect myself. And then the idea is that my Taskmaster is going to be just vastly stronger than theirs, protect myself with a bunch of nice blinds, and probably kill a bunch of people. Because remember, Taskmaster's ultimate is unavoidable. We're going to War Dog this enemy Wakanda / Bifrost team. Nothing special there. We're just making sure that we are going faster than the enemy Wakanda team, and we got the speed on our Shuri to prove it. Hydra World, that's right. That's what we used to call that team. We're then going to be using our A-Force, but we're going to be using Doctor Strange here against this astonishing unlimited team. Again, see, this is where guys get a little bit unfortunate here, right? So I'm making it for my own roster. I'm going to be doing a vast punch down here. Nico's going to go first, and then my Spider-Woman, who I did bring to Gear Tier 18, is probably going to annihilate this enemy team. That is the strategy here. I'm straight up overpowering it. The alternative, if you bring this team in and it's a punch across, or just not a good crit or something like that, is Beast is then going to give speed up, offense up to the enemy team, and if they get rolling, you'll be in big trouble, especially that Jubilee giving speed bar, right? That could be a huge issue. Then we have an enemy Black Order with some extra villains thrown in. I'm just going to use my Black Order there. My Black Order is 1.5 million facing a 1.4 million, but there's 3 other members on that team that are kind of sapping some of that power away. It's going to help me just make sure that the enemy Black Order, or the enemy Thanos, flips first, and then I'll flip second, and then everything will be right with the world. All right, we have an Invader team. This one could actually become a problem for people because that Fury summons they're a big deal. Like, Fury summons are really good. We're going to bypass all the nonsense. We're going to hit it with Icarus and Cersei. Once he summons, Icarus blows everything up, and that one's over. You're going to want to have a way to deal with those minions, whether that be with something like Death Seed, Eternals, Kestrel, which we're going to see later. You're going to want to deal with that. Here is another one that I think is a Hail Mary, so it's kind of a Wed Warrior. It's a Brawler node. We're going to hit it with our Bionic Avengers. The hope here is that even though this is a punch across, with the member advantage being for them, we're not going to die right away. We'll get some good cleanses, and then we'll wipe the board. That's the hope anyway. We have Bifrost with Thor taking on this Gamma / Wave 1 node. I think that we're going to get lots of nice pings from our Thor, but more important than that, rather, is our Bifrost members are so big that we're just going to overpower this one like crazy. All right, moving on after that, we have a Young Avengers / Shield node. We're going to hit this with just a Quicksilver Doom. Nothing, no fuss, no muss on this one. We have the speed advantage. We're going to go first with our Quicksilver. We'll probably rewind that Sharon Carter, so there's no stun coming in. The enemy team is going to be stuck for a little bit, at least, on Drax. Then Star-Lord goes pretty quickly here in this matchup, actually at 120. So he's going to give the energy to Doom. Doom is going to ult, and then Quicksilver will wipe the board. Nothing crazy or interesting there, really. We're going to use Unlimited against this Doom Darkhold. So this is where we see kind of our first scary teams. Unlimited is a great answer to this. Yes, it's a punch across, but again, that 1.7 mil on the enemy team is spread across 8 people. So what do we have here that's to our advantage? Well, we have 3 ability blocks, right? We got the ability blocks from Rogue, ability block from Gambit, and the ability block from Dazzler. Aside from that, we have huge tankiness, plus the Disrupt to stop all the nasty debuffs that the rest of the enemies are going to throw at us. And yeah, we're going to just then be able to stun the Sorcerer Supreme, the Strange Heartless, rather, and then we're going to go from there. I'm not worried about that fight whatsoever. Then we have Rebirth with Fantastic Four and Kestrel. The Kestrel part here is kind of worrisome, which is why I'm bringing my Infinity Watch team. There is the tanking of the Captain America here, so you want to make sure you have enough skirmishers to get through him. Just like the Heroes for Hire matchup where they throw in Captain America, you want to take him out first, oddly enough. So we'll be taking out Captain America, and then we'll be turning our attention to Peggy, and then turning our attention to Kestrel. Probably along the way, though, we're going to drop an ability block on that Invisible Woman, so she's not barriering and cleansing people and doing all kinds of nasty stuff. You got to remember, these older characters with the tower stats, they're going to catch some people off guard. We'll see how that goes. Then we have a Asgardian team, a hero Asgardian team, minus the Loki, of course, who, if you watch the show, he's a hero now. We're going to hit that with Undying and Emma, so we're getting a turn meter advantage. Our Surfer will be able to ability block the Val, then we'll be able to rewind them with our Shang-Chi, and then spread a bunch of nasty debuffs with our Hela. The thing that we do need to be prepared for here is that Loki is going to be the first character to go, and he might get somebody killed if, say, he does it on Emma and then Shang-Chi just yeets her off the map. That could be a possibility, but I don't think Shang-Chi is strong enough to kill either my Hela or zombie Iron Man, so I don't really care. And, of course, Greg could take that hit, right? Then I'm going to be using Tangled Web with, and we're starting to start getting pretty funky teams here, guys. Tangled Web with Deathpool, Titania, and Moonstone. We're up against an enemy Tangled Web, but there's also a Big Time there. Now remember, Big Time hits everybody. Big Time's going to go first here, and he's going to give my Tangled Web 10% speed bar. After that, the Noir is probably going to go as well, and he's going to give another 10% speed bar because he does his adjacent attack, I believe, is his opening attack. So Big Time for sure hits a Tangled Web member. Noir, because I have my 2 Tangled Web members positioned the way they are, I think he's guaranteed to hit one of them. We're going to get the speed meter advantage from there. We'll then stun the enemy Weaver and try and get a bunch of people killed because we only get 3 charges outside of Crucible. So once we get that opening ability done, we do need to get work done extremely quickly. So we're starting to take huge risks here as we climb higher. This tower was not meant to be climbed 30 floors in one day. Please understand that if you're climbing 20 floors in the first day, you are on par to not only clear all the milestones, but to be very competitive in the leaderboard. All right, then we have Darkhold, Quicksilver, but no Morgan. I'm going to be hitting that with this hodgepodge team, and this is where we start breaking up teams that you could probably keep together and use on lower floors if you're worried about some of my suggestions here. So I'm using Nowhere mixed with Omega Red and Lady Deathstrike. The idea here is that Nova goes before the Quicksilver. He's going to be able to stun the Quicksilver. Lady Deathstrike, she's the first character to go, period. She'll be able to rewind the Moon Dragon, the Atom Warlock, the Wong, so we're not getting stuck behind that taunt too quickly. And then from there, you know, our Thor Infinity War, he'll be able to get an ability block, plus a bunch of damage out there. It's going to be some good time gaming on that one. We're going to use full Darkhold into this Masters of Evil / Icarus, Sunfire, Gwenpool, Dagger. I don't know what's going on there. The reason I'm going with full Darkhold is because there's so many Mystic characters here that Morgan is going to be able... Does she get 4? Yeah, she is 20%. She's going to race to her ultimate. She's also going to do some nice buff flips along the way. I'm not too worried about that match either, even though it's a punch up. We'll see how strong that Kang is. Maybe I'm crazy and that Kang is just going to be one-shotting people. We'll see. Then I have Deathseed with Apocalypse going up against this Wakanda team because they're just really fast. They're really fast. I'm really scared. I want to make sure I get the blind on them. And then because there's a Weaver in there as well, I felt it necessary to bring in Apocalypse and get the one shot on them. And we're now reaching the end here. So we got Gamma against this Unlimited. Look, if Gamma can beat Unlimited and Crucible, they should be able to beat them in Tower. We're doing the punch across, though there you have additional 2 members. But the 2 members are kind of scary. So we do face the stun from Jubilee, the slows from Iceman, and then Beast giving all those juicy buffs as well. We'll see how that goes. The idea, of course, is that we're going to rewind the Rogue. We're going to stun the Rogue or stun the Dazzler. And then we're going to control the fight from there. So, yeah, it should be a good time. That one I'm interested to see how it goes. But now I know for sure we're stretching here. I don't expect to hit floor 30. I kind of expect to hit floor 25 or so and have to do a lot of corrections. This is where I'm using Kestrel, so I saw another Fury right away. I want to cancel that out. So I grab my Kang. He's going to give me a turn meter advantage on the enemy Kestrel. I already had Big Time. The idea here is Kestrel stops the Fury summons. Big Time is going to flip everything on Kestrel. Kang is going to kill Kestrel, and then we're going to play cleanup from there. That's the hope anyway. Then we're going to be using Skrull on this Undying Deathseed New Warriors team. Now this team is going to catch people off guard. They hit so hard, and the second that Archangel gets 1 kill and starts rewinding people, it's going to get away from you quickly. I got Skrull in here. I do have 2 heroes. I have 2 villains. We're hoping Skrull is just going to straight up solo this node, and I do think he will, but it remains to be seen. And then our final node, node 30. This is where it gets real, guys. Real. We're going to be hitting it with Secret Defenders. This is where our Photon is. And we're going to be using Dormammu here. My concern is I am taking 3 Mystics into a Morgan Le Fay. Hardlight is still going to go first, though. Once we get that rewind, we're then going to have to prioritize some stuns, some blinds, some ability blocks in places that we're unfamiliar with. But the reason for that is because there's an Emma, right? And we're using our Apocalypse further down. Anyway. This is what I'm using, guys. I hope this helps you out. Again, I have a lot of things kind of slammed together you don't need to do. Like this Dormammu, he can go make his own team. Super Skrull, he could go on a different team as well and help you a little bit further down instead of being this ambitious. But if you're an endgame player, I do think there's a world where we see some people not just hitting floor 30, but hitting floor 31, 32. It's going to be how you prioritize your teams. But I'm super excited about the first run of S.W.O.R.D Satellite. Let me know what you guys are thinking. It happens today. I will definitely be streaming this. It'll be going up on YouTube that night, so you can kind of reference it on your day to see how these teams went for me, if that's something you're interested in. It should be a lot of fun. Anyway, take care, have fun, good luck in Tower, everybody, and most importantly, good luck on those Diamond Dawn orb pulls. I pray that you do not get all 7 red star pulls from it, and you at least get a couple diamonds. And we're going to be coming up with a diamond video. So now that diamonds are here in the game, we should start talking about, like, characters to prioritize. And the good news is, and this will be the title of that video, you already own the characters at 7 yellow stars that you're going to want diamonds on, or they're already in your account, and by the time you get enough direct diamonds to progress somebody, you will have them at 7 yellow stars. So look out for that video as well. But for now, take care, have fun, and we'll talk to you later. Bye for now. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.